Who hasn't had the dream, sitting at a desk, slaving over a hot calculator, or maybe computer in 2021? I want to quit this pile and start my own business.
We're going to talk about how you can do that, how you can quit your job, but we'll also talk about the should you. When is the time right?
See, I kind of jumped the gun. All right, so you brought it up. It wasn't entirely not rude, the way you corrected me there. So forgive me if I sound a little bitter. The dream was to quit the job, but you're saying, first of all, you got to determine, should you quit your job to start your own business?
So it's a big risk. I took that risk, and I'm extremely glad that I did. So I can share the story behind it. I had a telemarketing job, and my income was going down. At first, I made a pretty good income there, as long as they kept providing me new leads. But there was a time for many months that they were recycling the leads. We just kept calling the same old people.
And you were commission-based.
It was $8 an hour plus commission.
Ooh.
So my income kept going down, and I was getting behind on my bills. Well, I'd been experimenting with this web design thing, and I'd sold a couple clients. I made $350 in the previous month, and I just thought, if I stay in my job, I'm going to get further behind on my bills anyway. If I quit and go full-time with this business idea, I think I can make it work. And I took the leap, and I quit, and then I told my wife.
So maybe we shouldn't do that.
Well,
shouldn't it be, if you're married, kind of a joint decision before?
That'll be a decision for you to make.
You pull the trigger?
So for me, I was successful. That first month, I made enough money to not only cover my needs, but get caught back up. All the past due stuff I got caught back up on.
But we kind of mentioned it in another video. You almost have to have some kind of proof of concept that it will work. And in your case, it was actual income. It was revenue from your own work. And you realized if I kind of scale that out over a month, I could be making more than I currently am, for sure.
Yeah.
And that was the should I do it or not.
And yes. I asked myself the questions like, what is the risk? What is the risk of staying in my job? What's the risk of quitting and going into this? And I was acceptable. Both of them were bad scenarios, and I thought that there's more potential over here. Man, I'm so glad that I did that. Now, saying that, the first 8.5 years were up and down financially. Mm-hmm. If I had a 10 grand month, and I was ecstatic about that, thinking, wow, I have made it. But then in the month after that, when it's zero, mm-hmm. and then the month after that is zero, mm-hmm. the average is out to a few thousand a month, right? But then you have another big month and you think, okay, and then, man, 8.5 years. 8.5 years is pretty stressful.
For you and your marriage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the whole...
I've shared this story, two stories. One, I remember being in the Walmart parking lot. This is when I was a pretty new dad. Mm-hmm. Walmart parking lot, and I needed to buy diapers, and I knew that we didn't have any money. I also knew, you know what? Walmart will accept a check even and have me go into the negative. So that's how I did it. I went into the negative. I have a memory, this is more recent, probably going back, I'll say 5 years ago. I went to my mom. Mom, can I borrow some money? I think I was asking for $5,000. And my mom said to me, Nate, why don't you just get a job? And it hurt. Because I couldn't explain why. I'm just I really feel purpose driven. It was. I'm so glad I stuck with it. I've got a 7-figure business now, and man,
is your mom still around?
My mom's still around. Yeah, and she's proud of me.
Yeah.
She doesn't
comes to
tell me to get a job.
moms?
No, she's good.
So speaking of risk, are there things that you can do to mitigate or minimize the risk involved in making that leap?
Well, we talked about in the previous episode, we talked about money and should I get a big loan to invest or should I start with a big amount of money? Well, I love the idea of kind of bootstrapping, thinking, what can I do? What can I go and sell and make money on and prove this strategy, this idea that it's successful before I commit a whole lot to it.
So when you started, let me ask you this. Did you have any kind of safety net, any nest egg, any savings, something to fall back on so that you could give yourself however much time that you said you were going to give yourself? Or did you just say, I'm never going back to work for the man. I'm not giving myself a window of time. I'm just going to do it, or we're all going to huddle around a mass grave and die together. Was that kind of what was going on?
So admittedly, I didn't have any backup plan.
Okay.
But keep that in mind. I live in the United States, and I have a loving family, a loving mom that if I needed to, I could have gone and, so it's not like I was at risk of being homeless.
Okay.
But I also knew that I could always fall back on sales because I'd gone out and I'd done door-to-door sales, I'd done telemarketing. I knew that was easy. I could always go back and get a job. And so, that was my backup. I didn't want to do it, but there was always that option.
In some ways, really, anyone can fall back on sales. Even if you're not a salesperson, it's not in your blood, you could do it for a short enough time to kind of build yourself back up, essentially. There's always something you can do. Let's talk a little bit about why a person would leave their job and start a business. Should it be about truly their passion of what it is that they're going after? The business itself or the lifestyle that the business can create? Or is it a mixture of both? Because I would say the only reason that I would leave a job is because I want to go off and do my thing that I love and that at the end of the day, I say I didn't work a minute today. Everything was play. I loved it.
Well, my personal philosophy. Let me talk about retirement because what is retirement?
Well, you're jumping way ahead.
People take a job that they don't like and they look forward to the day when they can retire. Okay, you could get a job that you loved, but most people I don't hear that they love their jobs. They hate Mondays. They love Fridays. Why is that? Because they don't love their job, and they look forward to retirement. So I love being a creator. I love being able to think of an idea and being able to implement that. And if you have a job that you can do that, then more power to you. So that, some people have amazing jobs. I never found a job that way. And I don't know anyone that has a job like that, or I never did. But as a business owner, it really gives me that control and that freedom to create. And I don't have a ceiling on my income.
Yeah.
Like if I'm making this many dollars per hour, can I double it? Can I just go to my boss and say, you know what, I want you to pay me double. What can we do to make that happen? They're gonna sorry, see ya. Maybe I'll give you 50 cents an hour raise.
But let me ask you this. Your business that you do right now, are you doing it for the money? Or are you doing it because you're passionate about helping others succeed on YouTube? That's a loaded question because there's a little bit of both, of course. But would you say it's fair that someone who is going to take the leap to start their own business, and this is I'm saying this, in my opinion, you should be fueled by something more than just the money that being on my own could generate?
So I totally agree. I say both are important because if the money isn't there, you don't really have a benchmark. You don't have something to really let you know that you're being successful. And don't get me wrong, I actually have no problem saying I love money. It's a great tool. Like money is an exchange for value. And I wanted to make more money. But at the same time, I look back at the history of my company. I first started out offering my services to all small businesses. So from dentists, I thought I wanted to be a dentist. So that's kind of ironic. I had a lot of dentists as clients, accountants, landscapers, restaurant owners. And then there were other clients that were like coaches and speakers and authors. And I loved those latter few that I mentioned because they were like influencing the world for good. They were teaching and helping people, sharing their expertise, really motivating people to achieve more. And I just I love helping these type people. And so I've really navigated my business to areas where I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love the video side way more than the website ever did there. I started with website design because I knew it was a way to make money, and I was helping clients like dentists and stuff because their credit cards never bounced. So it was great from that standpoint. But I eventually
the old bouncing credit card.
When you have clients that recur and their credit card balances, it's like I don't want to be a bill collector, whatever it is. At one point, actually, my website ranked for dentist website design. I was ranked #1 on Google for that. But I wasn't passionate about helping them. And my skill set really didn't match them. I was better suited to help like public speakers or experts that wanted to teach people about investing in real estate or those type of things. And so I took that webpage down. I just took it down and I shifted my business. And I've made several pivots along the way, from websites to SEO to video to YouTube video, really to where I love getting results. So it's a combination of both. I'm confident that had I just stuck with website design, that my 8.5-year financial roller coaster would have been a lot shorter. If I would have just only focused on the money, I had a successful business, but I wasn't quite satisfied, and I kept pivoting and pivoting and pivoting until I got into the lane where, like, yeah, this is the right place. I love what I'm doing, and now I'm super profitable.
But it all started by taking that initial leap and following your heart and your trust in yourself and leaving your job. Yeah, it's cool. So you've landed here now where you're passionate, what you enjoy is, I mean, can others make a career? I mean, can you have a lasting career with YouTube?
Yeah, so my company is like a YouTube production company, and I haven't found any other company that kind of does what we do. There's a lot of videographers out there. Certainly you can make a career out of being a videographer. But the question of YouTube, that's what I get asked a lot. Like, can you really make a career on YouTube? The channels that you see, they're very rare that they actually become successful. You see the gamers, you see the unboxing channels where they just get packages and they unbox it, or they do product testing and whatnot. There are a handful of channels that do really, really well with that. But compared to the thousands, there's got to be tens of thousands of people trying to do that. They're spending money on these things, and I don't recommend that you do that. But here's what I do recommend, and where I help my clients really succeed, is you start a business first.
That has nothing to do with YouTube.
Has nothing to do with YouTube.
Right.
And then you share your expertise. You answer people's questions on YouTube, and that's how you attract clients to your business. Many of my clients are generating 7 figures monthly using the strategy. That's what I teach on this channel. It doesn't happen overnight. This isn't get rich quick. It just doesn't work. The first 4 months, I tell my clients, you're not going to make any money. And that's 4 months of going 5 episodes a week.
Yeah.
So, but the strategy I teach, yeah, you can really grow your business using YouTube. If you want to make a career on YouTube, don't quit your day job yet. So Scott, now that we've had this conversation about, YouTube and your own business and whatnot, I want you to really understand my YouTube strategy. Go watch this video up here next. It's how to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in a day.
Ooh.
Come on, go watch it.
All right.
Oh, I was actually talking to you. You go watch that video now.
Oh, I can stay.